Many of you might be wondering, what does that mean, kill the guru? Or thinking that that is negative or not right. Some people might be triggered by that. Well, today in this video, I want to discuss the nature of gurus or having a spiritual teacher, and how the whole point of having a guru or following a guru is to come to the conclusion that you don't need a guru. You are your own guru. You are your own authority. And the only way that you can come to truth is with yourself, by yourself. People can lead you on the outside and guide you, but when it comes to knowing or waking up to the truth, we have to do it ourselves. Nobody else can do it for us. In last week's video, I talked about what a spiritual awakening is, and this is a little bit of a continuation of that video today. I did speak about this subject very briefly in my last video. If you haven't watched that video, I invite you to go watch that one and then come back to this one. So in my last video, I discussed some tips that helped me on my journey of awakening, which I am still on that journey, and I'm not a master by any means. I'm just sharing with you what I have learned, and you can take it or leave it. Again, I'm not trying to make my perspective your perspective, and the whole point of this video is for you, again, to see yourself as the authority, not making anyone else on the outside an authority. The reason that I am stressing this so much and discussing this so much is that I know on my journey I made a lot of things on the outside, people in particular, and subjects and spiritual teachings. I made them bigger than me, believing that I could find truth in things outside of me, but a lot of them just kept me stuck in spinning in illusion. And what I have learned on my journey is that it always comes back to you. You are the only person that can wake yourself up. So much of the information on the outside can be misconstrued because of ego, and then we get these ideas in our head about what somebody else is talking about, and we create these ideas which become belief systems, and they can actually move us farther away from ourselves and from truth. So I'm going to tell you my experience with gurus. When I was a little girl, my mom had introduced the idea of this guru, and we had pictures of this guru in our house, and I even went to go see her in the States. My mom flew me there, and we went to one of her ashrams, and we would do meditations and all these different things with her. I used to pray to her because that's what my mother taught me. I went to India when I was 23 years old, and I ran into this guru's neighbor, and this neighbor told me that she wasn't actually enlightened and that it's all a lie. I found this very interesting. I didn't believe him at first, but I wanted to pay attention to it. And then I ran into somebody else on my trip that spoke something very similar, and how she was actually very abusive to her employees and the people that volunteered for this guru. So I had lived by patterns, and even back then when I would get messages, I would listen and I wouldn't ignore them. My vision of her as the guru came crashing down, and I realized that I was praying to somebody outside of me, where I had this idea of them and believed in that so much that this guru was going to save me. And of course, I was very young and I didn't know a lot in those areas. Whether it was true, if she was enlightened or not, I was still looking outside of myself instead of looking within, making myself my own authority. And my journey took me further, where I ended up, I've spoken about this, I had a teacher. And so I had this teacher for 3 years who claimed to be self-realized, truth realized. I learned so much from her, and I am so eternally grateful to her, because I learned to see with new eyes and really do deep, deep self-inquiry and inner work. And waking up is about doing self-inquiry and inner work. If you're looking and going to things on the outside of you, no matter what it is, to awaken and not going within, then you will just stay stuck in illusion. Awakening is about doing deep, deep self-inquiry, asking, who am I? And actually doing the work. And so going back to my teacher, so although she taught me how to do this deep inner work, and she had a lot of really amazing teachings that I have taken with me on my journey, I realized that I didn't need her and that she was actually a crutch. And the other thing I realized is that anybody who claims that they can bring you to enlightenment are not telling the truth, or they're stuck in illusion themselves. Only you can bring yourself to awaken. Nobody else on the outside can do that for you. And so if you are depending on someone on the outside and they're saying that they can take you there, that's a red flag. That's a big red flag. And so there are a lot of gurus and teachers, spiritual teachers out there that say, if you stay with me, you will awaken. And if you leave me, you're missing out on this opportunity. But I learned over the years that that's not true. And if somebody is stating that or speaking that, then they're not actually the real deal. Somebody that is truly truth realized would not state those things. They would tell you that you have to go within, and the only way for you to find truth and to become truth realized is by yourself, by breaking down the false self. And so I had many people judge me when I left my teacher, and they thought that, oh, you're falling off the path. But there is no path. Everybody's path is different. It's the pathless path. Everybody has a different journey, and you cannot follow in the footsteps of anybody else's journey. You have to find your own way and find your own truth, and recognize that you can read all the books you want and learn all the teachings you want, but a lot of those just become mind concepts. And this just creates more belief systems. You're trying to break those things down. And so I can't stress enough that by going and looking on the outside, you are doing yourself a disservice. But I also want to say that in the beginning of the awakening process, it's really important that you do look at all those things, because you want to, and you're called to, and you have this thirst to learn all these things. But eventually you get to a point where you need to unlearn all the things that you were taught. When I ended up leaving my teacher, that was when my true awakening happened, because I wasn't making anyone on the outside an authority. And from that point on, I followed my own inner guidance, not the guidance from anyone else. So I'm not saying that gurus or teachers are bad. I'm not saying that at all. They're a part of the journey. I'm just saying that eventually you will get to a point, or you want to get to a point, where you realize that they are crutches, and that the awakening journey is about letting go of those crutches. We have to let go of everything on the awakening journey. That's really what it's about, is letting go of the falseness and the beliefs. And we can create a lot of beliefs through spiritual teachings. So the reason the title is called Kill the Guru is because you die to the guru. You die to the teacher, and the teacher dies to you. It's not a negative thing. The awakening journey is about dying, right? Dying while you are alive here on this earth. And so you have to break down belief systems and kill belief systems, and also kill the guru. You kill the teacher. This is in a metaphoric sense. This is not literal. And so even with my clients, most people work with me for 3 months. That's generally the average that people work with me, because I want people to learn the tools that are necessary to learn how to look within and do the deep self-inquiry. And once they've learned those tools, they don't need me anymore. They can go and do it on their own. They can do that inner work on their own because now they've learned it. And it's so important for them to stand on their own 2 feet, stepping into their empowerment and trusting in themselves instead of something outside of them. If you have any questions about this, I'd love to have a conversation with you, so you can leave some comments in the description below. I'm also offering discovery sessions, and you can book a session with me, and the link is also in the description below. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. My name is Tess. Thanks for watching.